Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Suave here. I'm with my homie Zaya, and we've been shopping around trying to find a couple bourbons to do some reviews on, and we have landed on this Penelope bourbon. Look at this thing. It's a nice looking bottle. Um, anyways, uh, we haven't done a whole lot of research on it before diving in, but we have looked it up, and it is going to be. It's a kind of a good entry level whiskey. It's not too expensive of a bottle. Would you say, Zay? It's like I don't know. It's a pretty, but like $50 for a bottle is really not bad.
Yeah, it's around the 40-50 dollar range.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, not a bad price. I think it's a good entry level whiskey. So we're gonna dive into this and see what we think, and as always, I think we're gonna go ahead and rate it on marketing, aroma, taste, body, and finish. Keep the same format that we do with the beer reviews. I think it makes sense. It's a good system. It's been working since then, so might as well keep it going. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Facts.
So I guess let's just dive into the marketing of Penelope. What do you think of their? I have their website pulled up. I'm looking. It's a good looking website. What do you think of their marketing, Zaya?
Uh, the website looks pretty good. Got all the tasting notes, bourbon facts, even got some cocktails, some cocktail options. I think the bottle looks great. It's really simple but really clean. A lot of information on the back of the bottle.
You know what? Do you want me to read the back of the bottle, or do you want to?
You take it, bro.
Okay.
It's all
Named after
you.
named after our founder's daughter, Penelope Bourbon is our signature 4 grain straight bourbon whiskey, uniquely blended from 3 bourbons, mash bills. Each barrel is hand selected and blended into a single batch for your enjoyment. Remarkably smooth and flavorful, Penelope is perfect whether sipping neat or using it in your favorite cocktail. And that's a good thing that to touch on. So I am going to be drinking it on the rocks. I have it right here. I have some ice poured up, getting ready for my pour. Zaya. Tell them about how you're going to be you're drinking your Penelope.
Well, according to you, I'm drinking out of a Glen Campbell glass.
That's why I pitched it to you. I didn't want to say it and mess it all up. Oh well, cat's out of the bag now.
I'm gonna be drinking it neat out of a Glencairn.
Glenn Karen. All right. Glenn Campbell, you mean?
Yeah, my Glen Campbell glass.
My Glenn Campbell, dude. Oh man, we're gonna get roasted in the comments section for that one.
We're learning, all right, we're learning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are learning. We're getting there, And that's the thing is like we were talking about it earlier. We've been drinking for so long, and it's like, but now just getting into it and kind of learning all of the artist. I guess the craft would be the word. The artistry and the craft of what's behind bourbon is something that me and Zay are really wanting to get into this year. So it's pretty cool.
It's a whole different experience, throwing back a shot compared to sipping on a glass. So you don't really get the notes so much, just slamming it down. So taking your time and actually trying to figure out what you're tasting and, just the different flavors that come from each bottle. I think it's going to be a interesting adventure.
Yeah, and you like me taking a lot of shots. Yeah, just when you're young, you just want to get drunk. You're like,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
you're throwing Jack 7 down, thinking it's the greatest thing in the world, and
give me a Jack and Coke, brother. I hate Jack now, though. I think me and you talked about that before. I can't stand Jack. I'll pick Crown over Jack any day of the week.
yeah, I love me Jack number 7. I think it's a good mixer, but you know,
Yeah, it's
I'm not
pretty
a
good.
I'm not a big I'm not a big Crown guy, not a Canadian whiskey fan
Yeah.
from what I've had, but
Well, to each his own. Everybody has their palates, and I think that's gonna be good that me and you are both doing it. We both have kind of like a contrasting palate, but similar interests as well. So I think give everybody a good idea on what we're drinking is going to be good, man. Or it is going to be good. I was looking at this website a little more. Down here on this 4 grain, the Penelope that we're gonna drink tonight, San Francisco World Spirit Competition bronze in 2019, USA Spirits Awards silver in 2023, SIP Awards Consumers Choice Award in 2020, double gold SIP Awards in 2020. I mean, these guys are just racking up the awards on this bourbon, which is really really encouraging. It makes it. I think we picked a very good first bourbon to drink.
Yeah, from what I've just heard from reviews and everything, as far as like people that finish whiskey, everybody says Penelope's one of the tops. So
Oh yeah. What do you? Well, I think we give marketing. It seems like they got a really good marketing scheme. Beautiful, beautiful fonts, beautiful labels, beautiful graphics, nice looking website. They've won a lot of competitions, so they present themselves really well. I think what 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10 on the marketing.
yeah, I could agree with that.
Okay, let's dive into the aroma. I want to pop this thing open, man. Let's get in
Yeah,
there.
you gotta get a good cork pop for the camera.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. Got it. Oh, let me go back to full screen. If I can open the damn thing. Have you already opened yours?
Yeah, I opened it while I was right before we started. I haven't like actually like took the top off, but I took the plastic off of it.
There's the plastic. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and break the seal here. All right. I'm going to cork pop it. Ooh. Sounded good.
Little pop there.
Smells pretty good. Smells pretty good. All right. Are you going to smell it out of the bottle, or do you want to pour it into? How about this? You pour it into your glass. I don't know if, and I'll pour it into the rocks, and I'll get a smell off the rocks as well. But I'll let you lead off because I don't want to pour mine yet because it'll water it down really fast.
All right, I just poured me a little bit. Let me give it a little second to open up. That's what the experts do. Not that I'm one of those. Smells like whiskey. Bourbon.
Hell yeah, it does.
Um, See, that's the thing I'm interested in learning is what some of these notes are, but
Yeah,
maybe picking up some caramel.
caramel. Love me some caramel. Is it here? I want to let me just open the bottle and I'm gonna smell it from the bottle with you. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I don't want to throw it on these
Hey,
rocks just
we're
yet.
not experts here. We ain't trying to be, so
Okay, well, let me see
we're
here.
just having a good time.
Let's see here.
It's very light. Doesn't it doesn't have a real strong ethanol
No,
smell to it.
yeah, is it malty? I don't know if that's very malty that I'm getting off of this, but it's maybe that's the caramel. But it definitely has that oaky smell to it. I'm wondering, like, looking at this, like, moving it around in the bottle, like, how syrupy it's gonna be. That's something that I'm kind of.
It looks pretty thin. It's not really sticking to the side of my glass too much.
Yeah, so it's falling as you're swinging it around.
Oh yeah.
Here, I'm gonna pour some. I have this. I don't have a Glen Campbell, but I do have this craft beer glass, and I think I can get some movement in here, so that'll be pretty good. Let's put that in there, let it open up. I'll just do that. Here we go. We got it in this. Don't be judging me, everybody. But yeah, no, it's not sticking to the glass. It's falling pretty well. Yeah, you're right. It's got a nice, got a real nice body to it. From what
It's got a light body. I think technical what people consider a good body would be something that kind of sticks to the glass a little bit more, a little more oily. I guess,
So
kind of
this one's
texture.
light is what it seems like, huh?
Oh
On the
yeah,
extremely light
this is
side.
a yeah, this is extremely light. But like I said, I wanted something kind of good to start with. I didn't want to go out and buy a 120 proof and hate it. So
Is it just me? But it stings the nostrils a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I mean it's very.
see, I don't get that. So I
It,
get that when I drink it out of a wide glass, but when it's in this Glencairn, I'm telling you, it's a whole nother experience.
really.
You get hit with some ethanol, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah, on the what I out of this cup, it's definitely there's a it's not overpowering, but it's there. I mean, yeah, and it's starting to kind of. I see what you mean by letting it open up a little bit, getting some of it out of the way, so you can get the some of the crafty notes behind it. Yeah, there's that caramel. It says syrupy, but like and I'm kind of getting that a little bit because it's like it says that there's a syrup note to this, but it's very sweet. So maybe that's what I'm getting. I'm getting a very sweet smell on the nose.
Yeah, for sure. I can agree with that too.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to dive in on this whenever you are. Aroma, what do you think? Aroma. I mean, it doesn't make me not want to drink it. So where are
I
you at
mean,
on that?
ah, it's kind of a tough one. It's not very interesting. I mean, it's kind of I'd probably give it a 6.
6. Okay, I was thinking on the average side 5 or 6. So yeah, I mean, we can let's think about it a little bit. I think 6 would be good, or we could maybe meet in the middle, like maybe a 5.5. Let's do a 5.5. I think it's we don't want to be. It seems like it's going to be good, but I don't know if we want to be too generous. But I also don't want to like undercut it either. You know what I mean? But it's not bad. Let's go with a 6 because this is one of the better whiskeys that I have smelled. I will say that
It's that 80 proof though, that low proof that's making it a lot more pleasant on the nose, I'd say. But
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Well, let's go. We are now into the taste. So I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna go ahead and drink this that I have poured in here, and then I'm gonna pour it on the rocks as well. So
cheers, buddy.
cheers. There's rye in there. I definitely tasted the rye on that.
It's really easy drinking.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I mean, I just slammed down the whole shot there with no problems. I got to pour this thing on the rocks so I can get a better. I always feel like whenever I pour a glass on the rocks, like I can get a really good sip on it.
Trying to gather what I'm tasting
Oh
here.
my gosh. Yeah, so on the rocks, I mean, that's the good thing about when you drink a whiskey or a bourbon on the rocks, it breaks it down a little bit. I mean, that's why some people like to put a little bit of water in it. Some whiskey connoisseurs really like to put just like a dab of water, just to kind of break it down a little bit. But like that whenever what I'm sipping, that sugar and that sweetness is really popping out now. Like very like on the first taste. So I'm getting
Oh
in
yeah,
there and that sweetness is just very noticeable.
maybe a little cherry. Is cherry one of the notes?
I don't know, but I've seen what you're saying. Yeah, there is like a sweet cherry taste or something like that. Oh yeah, 4 notes right here. There is a cream cherry. Yeah, cream and cherry. Very slight candid. It's very slight. So that was a kind of a hidden note. It kind of points at
You
berries
know,
and
honestly,
citrus.
this kind of tastes a little higher proof than 80.
Yeah. I think it's because you're drinking it straight. Like I'm not. I can see why it's a lower proof when I'm drinking on the rocks. Because whenever I put like even putting the Doctor Disrespect whiskey on the rocks, like I could immediately like I on this like it's I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's really broke down. Like I'm not getting like I could drink this like a Sprite. This shit is great.
Here, I'm gonna send you a link on Discord. This is the water that they use for to water down their bourbon a little bit.
Oh, this there's like a specific water that people use.
And they use like a tiny little dropper, like maybe one or two drops.
Okay. Let's see here.
It's supposed to change the experience. I don't know exactly how. I'm not really that educated.
I will say now that I'm on the like a little bit further into this, that oaky taste is really coming out now. Like there is a the oaky notes are the oaky notes. You know what I mean? Like but it's like very pleasant. But you know, sometimes you drink a bourbon and you're like, oh my god, dude, this thing is just way too woody. You know, it
Yeah,
does.
there's that bitter oak. This is more of a sweet kind of sweet oak, I think.
Yeah, and you get those mixtures of that cherry. I'm definitely tasting the vanilla as well. So you got like vanilla, you got cherry, a little citrus in there. I'm not really hinting at the citrus a lot. What about you? Are you finding that citrus note in there?
See, I'm not hitting on that citrus too much either, but it's not to say that it isn't there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the cherry is way more pronounced than the citrus for sure.
That's
Overall,
re
this is a oh, go ahead, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just gonna say this is just really easy drinking,
That's kind of
real
where I was
light.
going. Yeah, I was gonna kind of just kind of bounce off with you on that, like for sure. Like this is for a $50 bottle. Like this is one of them bottles. Like I could buy this as like one of my go tos. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad that this will be on my shelf because this will be a. I'd be interested to see how it mixes with Coke. You know, maybe have a some bourbon and Coke. If you wanted like a
Yeah,
Coke or because I game a lot, and I'm a caffeine addict. So don't be judging me out there, people. Like, oh God, he's talking about mixing it with Coke. Like, no, dude. Like, I'm telling you, I gotta have my caffeine. So I mix all my whiskeys with Coke, all of them, pretty much all of them. Okay, so don't be judging me out there, people. And
don't you dare mix that Blanton's with Coke.
I was thinking about it.
I will unsubscribe right now.
Damn, that's cold, man. That's cold.
Don't do that to the community.
All right, I won't. I won't.
I mean,
Sorry.
there's so many cheap bottles out there. Wild Turkey 101 is a good example. I mean, for me personally, I like Jack 7. I think it's a good mixer. Uh, Granddad 101. There's just so many cheap bottles out there that you can mix with. So why would you use something,
Well, I don't
you
know.
know?
Like some of these crafty. I see. I used to be a bartender back in the day, and so like some people want those higher end alcohols when they're mixing because it does give a different flavor. Like putting this with a Coke, I could definitely like. I would put more of this than I would the Coke. You know what I mean? You kind of just splash it in there to kind of give a good mix. Not splash it in there. You probably do like maybe like a half to a half. You know what I'm saying? Like to make it kind of even. But I always drink doubles, you know what I mean? So I like mine drinks a little bit stronger. Some people
Yeah,
don't like them that
my
way.
mixed drinks are a little on the hefty side. So
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's kind of like it's just there for an extra flavor. But like seeing like with this, like like with this Penelope, this would be a good mixing drink because of the I mean, all these notes. You got cherry, you got vanilla, you got all that, just kind of complementing your, giving you a cherry vanilla Coke with your whiskey. I mean, all those notes really do come out whenever. Because I mean, if you're like me, I drink Coke Zero every day. Like I'm like I drink so much of it, so I know that taste. And when they change it, or if I get like an off can, like I can tell. Um, and so whenever I mix it with alcohol, some of those notes kind of come out, oddly enough. And I'm looking at their cocktails here. So they have this maple syrup old fashioned, and this one is 3 ounces of Penelope 4 grain. This is recommended for the 4 grain on this mix. A 1 ounce of Bourbon smoked sugar simple syrup, and then 3 dashes of barrel aged bitters. Like that. That sounds like a really good old fashioned. Taking these notes into it, like I don't kind of what I'm trying to get at it is I really see this as a good sipping bourbon, but with it being such a light proof, I think this is an amazing mixing bourbon.
Oh yeah, I could agree with that. And for the price, I mean, I'd say it's good for the price. You know, you want to have a little higher end of a mixed drink, you know? Not like super high end, but more than your $20 Jack 7.
Yeah, something that,
You want to take it a step up.
right, maybe you want a little more pleasure in your drink than just to get drunk kind of thing. Like it could be more of a luxurious mixer.
I am curious though what this non-chill filtered means.
Non-chilled filter? Where do you see that at?
On the back of the bottle, it says first right under first steps. It says non-chill filtered. I'm gonna.
Oh wow, this is interesting. Aromas of sweet buttercream and I did not get any apples from this. I don't know about you, but the apple notes was not there for me. I've already finished my glass, so there's like about 4 ice cubes in there. So I'm gonna pour another glass. Oh my god, I'm about to get lit. This is we're about to get lit tonight, Sam. Oh man, me and Suave were sitting there, man. We were trying to get all the notes out of that motherfucker, man.
I'm really taking my time with it. I'm trying really hard to catch some of these notes.
I'm not. I kind of just slammed that first one.
It's easy to do with this, man.
This is
It's
a good
so
beer.
easy to do.
I said beer. This is a very good. I honestly, I think that I'm glad that you suggested this one. We were bouncing between this one and a double Woodford Oak. I believe was that the one we were talking about doing.
Yeah, that Woodford double oaked.
Mm-hmm. I'm very glad that we picked this because this is something I can come back to. Like I think this is one that I think I would always. You see my shelf back here, and I mean, I always have like a bunch of different bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. Um, and I think this is one that I think I would like to have on my shelf consistently. If I have somebody over and maybe we want a mixed drink, hey, you want to? I'll put this in there, see what they say. Like, man, what is this? It's Penelope, baby. You know what I mean?
Or just if you have somebody coming over that's never really experienced bourbon, it's a great starter. Honestly, for 80 proof, I mean it feels a little higher proof than 80, I will say, but
It's clean though. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's
it's because that Buffalo Trace is about 90 proof, and honestly, this feels right up to par with that as far as drinking goes, but in a good way.
Yeah, I think yeah, no, I agree. And it's like this could be something that, this could be an easy go-to if you're just, maybe you're not wanting to just keep one on your shelf, or maybe you're just wanting something to drink on a special occasion. This could definitely be something that you could bring to like a party or a gathering with some friends, and you show with that, and it gets some curiosity going, and them, and then showing them the back of the bottle, people reading the bottle, taking a taste, and for the low, like you said, the lower proof, it's almost you get a lot for that lower proof. There's a lot of little different hints of flavors that are hitting you, and even like this, I'm looking and I'm taking these little sips trying to find this apples that they're saying that's in here, and I'm not finding it, but when I find it, yeah, you know what I mean? It seems like that's kind of the way sometimes when you drink from whiskey or you get some of these whiskeys from the barrel like that. Sometimes the notes don't hit every taste. Some of them will hit on another drink. You never know where in the bottle a note might be a little more prominent, if that makes sense.
Where are you getting that Apple note from? I don't even see it on their website.
I'm not getting an apple. Oh, you mean like where did I read it? Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
if I go to whiskey, 4 grains, scroll down, and if you look right, okay, all right, it's not on the website. Have I just lost my fucking mind? Where's
Yeah, I was
that?
gonna say I was looking for a.
On the back of the bottle. Let's check the back of the bottle. There it is. It was on the back of the bottle. Aromas of sweet buttercream and fresh apples, married with layers of nutmeg and allspice. 4 grains taste. Second paragraph.
Yeah, I'm not getting much Apple. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not getting the apple or the nutmeg. Like yeah, that this I don't I really hope that I'm reading this correctly because it says 4 grains taste, but I'm not getting those notes. Like even the buttercream, like I there is a sweetness to it, but I was more diving in on that sweetness being the syrup that they were saying, like a syrupy kind of sweet sugary taste. I'm not getting a sweet buttercream or fresh apples. But nutmeg? There's no way I'm getting nutmeg from this.
See some of the notes I'm getting. I don't know exactly what they are. That's
I'll tell you right now, like what I think I'm tasting, which this is going to come as the experience with us. The more we drink, the more we're going to get more experience, the more we're going to learn, and things like that. The more we're going to find these little notes. But I'll tell you what I'm tasting here is I am definitely getting a very sweet taste. And it's a bodied sweetness, if that makes sense. So it's kind of that syrupy sweetness. Caramel a little bit. The vanilla was prominent whenever I took a couple of sips. I was like, okay, I can really really see that vanilla. It says slight berries on here, but I don't know if maybe the some of the sugary sweetness I'm getting is fruitiness. It could be, but I'm really like it seems like a heavier sugar, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm just bullshitting my way through this, but I mean that's
it
kind of the
sounds good. It sounds good.
that's like the way it seems like to me. That's the only way I can interpret it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I said, some of these notes I'm not 100% positive on, but I'll take their word for it. I'm sure the person
Okay.
that made these tasting notes knows exactly what they're doing, so
All right, call me crazy, but I just took a little sip and I think I found the apple. I think I found the fucking apple. All right, do me a favor, Zaya. You got ice cubes at your house?
I do.
Okay, do me a favor. Put two little ice cubes in there. Just two little ones. Two little ice cubes and pour a little bit. And then take a sip off that and let it sit on the front of your tongue for like half a second. I think I found the apple.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll go grab some ice real quick.
Maybe? Maybe. Maybe. Type of proof 4 grain, straight bourbon whiskey, 80 proof, non chilled filter. I think that's what Zaya was going to look at. We'll ask him about that when he gets back. I think he did some research on that. I can't remember if he was talking about that or not. I'm a little lit. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm sorry. Zaya, if I'm interrupting you at all, I'm sorry. I'm feeling just a little lit right now. I can't stop drinking it. This is actually a really good bourbon. I can't stop drinking this thing.
I just got a little bit left in my Glen, so I just put a little ice in there, just a little piece of ice.
Okay, I'm
So I'm
going to
gonna let this
slow
kind of.
down. I'm gonna slow down, and then I want to hear your notes off of what you're gonna taste here. But
How long you think I should let this kind of soak?
um whip it around a couple times and just put some on the tip of your tongue. I think you can dive right in.
That's interesting. It definitely changes it. Just a little piece of ice soaking for a couple seconds made it a lot easier to drink.
But those flavors are kind of popping, huh?
I'm kind of getting the same notes right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you
not
getting
in a
like
bad
a
way, but
Are you getting like a real like what kind of sweet? There's a sweetness there, right? Like a
oh yeah,
sugary sweetness.
it's definitely sweet.
Are you pinpointing if it's like? Do you think it's a if it's more of a syrup sweetness, or are you thinking it could be like a fruit sweetness?
It's almost kind of like reminding me of almost kind of like a rum sweetness. What makes rum sweet?
That's an interesting question, but I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. Rum sweetness. Let's see here. Let's just do this. What makes rum rum? What makes rum
So it's
rum?
sugar.
Yeah, rum is a spirit made from sugarcane, molasses, or sugarcane juice. The sugarcane is fermented and then distilled after distillation. The liquid will be cleared and typically aged using bourbon cask, wooden cask, or stainless steel cask. So it's more of a, I guess so. Like you have whiskey, it's more of a uh, whiskey's more of like a barley or a wheat corn type of extract on alcohol, whereas I guess rum is more of a sugar extract on alcohol because there's different ways of making alcohol. I do know that, you know, or making ethanol, right? So you can make it through sugars, or you can make it through um, barleys, you can make it through uh, grain, you know, corn, or you can do the rye, you know, so that you just get. So I'm guessing they are focused more on the sugars. I guess that's why rum is so much sweeter. I think that's about right, right? I think. I don't know.
Sounds right. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me get another sip here.
I did get a taste of apple on that last sip. I will tell you. On that one, a lot of vanilla. I just got a lot of vanilla on that little sip. Um, really
Yeah, I just
distinctive
got some
about.
vanilla.
Yeah, it was very
Got
distinct on my end. This is, you know, what's very cool about this whiskey is I think what these guys got going on from there is they make this very interesting. You know, it didn't smell interesting, which is a fair assumption on both our ends. Like I didn't really get any type of interestingness off the aroma, but on the taste, I'm getting a like this is like me and you've been sitting here trying to find different notes. This is a very interesting taste when it comes to a bourbon. You know, it's not straight. It's not plain and dry. There's a lot of little hidden notes in there. A lot of little um, hidden crafts that they've done to this. So I mean, I really think this is an exceptional taste. I kind of like the adventure we're having. You know, okay, what are these notes that they have? What's this note? You know, they're logging these notes, but I haven't found them yet. So it's like a scavenger hunt almost. You know.
exactly, man. You're just and like I said, when you first start, you don't exactly know what you're tasting. I mean, obviously fruit you can distinguish, but first drinking, what does oak taste like, I'm not out there chewing on trees to figure out what oak tastes like.
Yeah, dude, just give me a fucking, give me a 2x4, bro. Let me gnaw on this bitch for a little bit.
But in all of this stuff mixed together, you know, you don't exactly. It's hard to pick out exactly what you're tasting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really is. It's not easy, it seems like. But I really like it. Like I think I like this better than beer tasting. Like this is very I think this is good that we're doing this, that I've done this with another person and that me and you were doing this together and we decided to go on this avert. You know, like if I was just to do whiskey tasting on my own on this channel, I would probably just like go through it and not give like if I was to review this on my own with you being here, I think like has just brought so much to the table. Like us being able to sit here and venture through this and find these notes and you have it you have intelligence that I don't have and I have intelligence that you don't have. So we bring a lot to the table as a duo, you know, trying to dive into this and really decipher what we're tasting. And I think it works great as I think we're really doing this well as a good team. And I think that at the end of the day, as long as we are novices in this, and as everybody can tell, it's not evident that we are not novices here. But I think the way that we're diving into this is a very intellectual and a very open minded way of looking into it, if that makes sense. And I think we're doing a good job, in my opinion. You know, if there's anybody out there, y'all can all drop a comment, let us know if there's anything that you have tips, information, or any helpful suggestions for us going forward. Because me and Zay are going to be doing future videos on these, and and really honestly we just are just interested in the craft and just getting better at it. And anyways, hats off to Zaya with bringing all this backside knowledge, because Zaya, you've done a lot of research, you know, on the back end on this. Zaya was the one who talked me into getting into the bourbon reviews, and I fucking love it, dude. Thank you, this is awesome.
Honestly, man, I've been watching a lot of Bruzel. I love that guy. He's such a chill dude. He's more into like the higher proof stuff, so it's kind of hard for me to find those good lower proof bottles, but he's definitely a good place to get some information from. I would say.
I love Bruzel, man. His
Shout out to Bruzel.
Yeah, big shout out to Bruzel. You know what's funny is I watched one of his videos on my live the other night. I think you were hanging out in chat, and I just pulled up one of his videos, and we were watching it together.
Oh
And
yeah.
you know, a lot of bigger streamers or a lot of bigger content creators, they could copyright strike you for that. And you know what he did? I went and I looked, and he there was a notice on YouTube that I was watching his video live, and he gave a shared what is it when you shared monetization. He shared his or shared the monetization with me. So it's like, hey, watch my videos, but just throw me a couple bucks on the monetization. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate your content. I love your content. I don't mind giving you a little percentage of this, as you know, if I'm gonna watch your video. I thought that was really cool, you know, like because some people could just copyright strike it and make me take the video down. Big shout out to fucking who's them fuckers that I was watching a video on. They made me cut the video off. They made me delete the video. It was the fucking Hollywood Reporter. Fuck you guys. Sorry, but yeah, fuck the Hollywood Reporter, man. They made me delete that video. They had that algorithm picked that up in a day. I was just watching a video on, you know, the tabletop videos where they're like all sitting there discussing like the actors and stuff. Have you seen those?
I've honestly never seen it, to be honest with you.
I love those videos, dude. I watch them all the time. Like you'll have like Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, and Brad Pitt all sitting at a table talking, bro. They are amazing videos. Anyways, I was just bored one night and I pulled it up while I was waiting for a Tarkov match to load, because those take like 15 fucking minutes, you know? And so I was just watching that, and yeah, I got copyright strike for that shit. So fuck the Hollywood Reporter. Low key. I still watch their videos, but fuck them. My bad. Sorry,
So,
that was way
no,
off
you're good. You're
topic.
good, man. You're good. So, what do you think we should give this for a rating? Let you lead off this time.
Taste. I mean, kind of like what we were talking about. I think the notes and the taste on this are very interesting. I think they got a lot going on. I think we haven't even dived into all the flavors that the bottle provides. I think the bottle has a lot of a lot of potential. You know what I mean? I think there's more into this genie that we haven't unlocked. If what the notes that they have listed are what the notes that are on here, if that makes sense, you know. And I 100% sure they are. But even like going to the second paragraph, the palate is creamy, sweet dance of almonds and vanilla bean that finishes the hints of toasted macadamia nuts and subtle kiss of tangerine citrus. You know, like, did I miss that? Did
It certainly blew right by me. I didn't. I completely missed it, but like I said, I, I'm having a hard time distinguishing exactly what I'm tasting. I need to pour me up a little more, actually. Just,
You know, if you're really, you know, I just took another sip, and you know, if I'm really like diving into it, maybe that vanilla bean is a little more prominent than I thought. Maybe it's not vanilla that I'm tasting; it's vanilla bean. Because let me tell you, I know vanilla bean because I fucking love the vanilla bean frappuccino from Starbucks, and I fucking can point that out in a blind test. I love the vanilla bean frappuccino. I know that flavor. So maybe maybe there's a little bit of that flavor in there. It's very slight, but I don't know if I'm mixing that with what. See, there's a lot of like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. See, I was maybe classifying that as the syrupy taste that I was gathering earlier.
yeah, I think I was catching more of a vanilla kind of flavor, but
Almonds, though? What are your thoughts on the almonds note?
honestly, I haven't eaten enough almonds to be able to tell you what one tastes like. Not a big almond fan, but
Well, they're very. I will say I like almonds, but they're very sweet and they're very salty for a nut. So I'm not getting much saltiness from this, but
maybe that's where some of that sweetness comes from.
maybe it's possible. Maybe it's a mixture of a lot of different like little sweet. Maybe we're just tasting sweetness as a novice palate, but there's a lot of different sweetness characteristics that are going into what we're tasting.
That's probably a fact, I would say.
My man.
I mean, like I said, I think one day we'll get it figured out to where we can pinpoint exactly what's going on, but the fact that we're catching some notes, I take that as a success.
I agree. I agree. And you know, it says here. So I was going to ask you, what was this non-chilled filter? I think you looked that up a second ago. What was that?
Yeah, it's so I don't know how to pronounce this word, honestly.
Spell it. We'll work through it together. Give me a spelling.
Here,
You're going to share the link.
I'll just copy and paste the text to you, let you read it out loud.
Okay. It means that whiskey hasn't been subjected to the flocculation flocculation process. What is a flocculation?
So 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 we know what non-chill filtered means. Now we got to figure out what flocculation means.
Bro, it's like it's Legos. We're just trying to build onto this here. What is this flocculation process? Flocculation. According to in bro, in colloidal chemistry, I might have to look that word up now. Flocculation is the process by which colloidal particles come out of bro. I think this is science shit. Get out of here. I mean, I guess if you think about it, making whiskey is chemistry. So I mean, maybe flocculation progress in alcohol. Let's do that in bourbon. Let's do in bourbon. Oh, it involves chilling whiskey down to a very low temperature, usually 0 degrees Celsius, which causes a haze to form. I don't know what a haze to form is. Oh, here it is. The haze is created through a process called flocculation and consists of proteins, esters, and fatty acids. During chilled filtration, this haze or flock is filtered out. Okay, so they cool it down to a very low temperature to filter out some of the, I guess, not desirable notes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because it was saying something you get like more earthy notes.
Okay, so the flocculation is taking out some of the artificial flavoring and making it more of a natural flavoring, maybe. Interesting. Well, that's interesting. So that's what we're just gonna go with that. Non chilled filtered.
Comment down below, let us know.
Oh, here we go. So maybe I should just read the next sentence of your fucking thing you sent me. The extra sediments and esters give a rich, creamy texture and sometimes earthy or host of umami. Hey, umami. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're using words I don't understand. I take that as a sign of disrespect.
Bro, I fucking love Theo Vaughn. I love Theo Vaughn.
That's Donnie Baker.
Oh, Theo Vaughn
You
said
ever watch?
something like that.
Does he?
Yeah, I like Theo Vaughn. I watch him quite a bit. What did Donnie Baker say? What was his joke?
That he would say that using words I don't understand. I take that as a sign of disrespect.
Funny.
Did you hear he died recently?
No, really.
Yep. I guess it was. I think it was. I don't want to. Let me double check and make sure before I come right out and say it. But
Here, hold down this podcast for just a second. My wife got here. I got to help the baby come in or carry the baby in. Give me a second. Pull it down. Give us that information, Zaya.
so yeah, he was fentanyl and ethanol. So yeah, drug overdose, I guess. If you haven't checked out Donnie Baker, I definitely recommend some of his comedies. He's a funny dude. Actually went and saw him live and really good experience. He puts on a good show. Well, he used to put on good shows, but one of his ending lines was he used to date this girl in high school that had a seashell tattooed on her inner thigh. You could put your ear up to it and smell the ocean. Take another sip here and see what we gather. There's just no ethanol on this whatsoever. See what we get. Yeah, I'm just getting those same notes. Nothing really news popping out to me yet. Really easy drinking though. Really easy drinking. This is a MGP bottle, so it's sourced. Um, Penelope actually buys the bourbon, and then they finish it themselves. That's what a lot of these craft people are doing nowadays. Another brand I'm really interested in trying is Barrel Bourbon. They're another craft group that I hear is doing really amazing things. A little higher on the price. They run about $80 a
All right.
bottle, but I
All
hear
right, I'm out. Sorry about that,
some
Isaiah. The dogs are
Barrel's doing
freaking
some
out
really
over the
good things.
fireworks, and my wife was. He was barking, but I thought my wife was home, and then my wife called me, and she's like, "Hey, the fireworks are going off. Give the dog a Benadryl." I was like, "Okay." So I had to give the dog a Benadryl. What I miss? What I miss, Zaya?
I was just I took another drink trying to see if I could get any new notes. Same same kind of flavor profile I was getting before. And I was talking about how Penelope was MGP bourbon. Um, Penelope just finishes it. Then I kind of went on into another brand that finishes bourbon as well. That Barrel Company.
Okay.
They're a
Okay.
little more higher end than they run about $80 a bottle from what I've seen.
Okay.
They do some pretty interesting stuff.
And what was the name of that company?
Barrel. They had that rum finish that I was telling you about.
Okay, let me check it out. Barrel whiskey. Barrel craft spirits. Is that it?
Probably yes. Yeah, that's it.
Which one are you thinking was the one that you were wanting to look at?
The one I was telling you about earlier was Tale of Two Islands, the rum finish.
Oh, right here. Okay. In
But
2018, we produced the legendary Tale of Two Islands rum, a Jamaican rum matured in peated Islay single malt barrels. Those empty casks have been used to finish a blend of straight bourbons. The sweetness of the rum and the smokiness of the Islay cask mingles together with the underlying bourbon that continues to Tale of Two Islands. That's
they have
interesting.
another one that sounds like it's right up your alley, though. It's called Seagrass.
Seagrass.
Yeah, it's a blend of American and Canadian whiskeys,
Hmm.
but
Look at all these awards it got. Look at that. That's crazy.
it's a rye finished whiskey
Oh, I
with
love rye whiskeys.
finished in rum barrels and brandy barrels.
Yeah, we're gonna bookmark this. We might need to see if we can find that.
You had some barrel from that video you sent me at the store. I don't know which ones they were, but they have a few good options from what I hear. Trying to think of that other one that was really good. It might be that Tale of Two Islands I keep hearing about. One of the orange labels that people go crazy about. I don't know if it's the private release or if it's the Tale of Two Islands, but
Private release. Oh, this one over here. Okay. Component age statement is 70, oh, 5, 15, 7 years. Oh, so each one of these that you get can have a different age. World Spirit Competition. Gold. That's crazy. Okay. We're going to have to look into these guys more. I guess they make really competitive bourbon tastings.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I mean, I've only heard about a couple of the bottles, but from what I hear though, it's all been positive reviews, taking the craft scene by storm.
So if we're looking at this Penelope, this what are you thinking of giving it a rating is on taste?
For me, um, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and knock it. It kind of just tastes like a standard whiskey, And I mean, it's good, but there's nothing really that jumps out at me as like being like phenomenal. Just a good, easy drinking, just a good easy drinking bottle. I'd say if I had to rate the taste, I'd probably go 6.5 to 7.
Okay. That's kind of where I was thinking. I was thinking a 7. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking 7 out of 10. I think that obviously it's kind of a something that you mentioned to me earlier is how they do not make their whiskey; they just mix it. Is that kind of what you were telling me?
Yeah, so it's NGP, so they buy it and then they put it in their own barrels and do their own thing with it.
So all these so it seems like what they've done is, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, it's just more analytical, is they've taken a whiskey that's been produced and then they mix it with all of these different flavors to give all these different notes, but it gives, obviously it's, I mean, it's good to get, it's like kind of a treasure hunt like I said before, looking for different notes, but it is a it is a produced kind of after the fact kind of thing, if that makes sense. It's so it's not more of a natural aged flavor. You're getting something that's been produced and then it's been mixed with different flavors, and that's why it's not like a high end drink, but it's a good drink nonetheless. But I think it would be, I think it's more of a cocktail mixture, with those, it's like adding little flavors in there, if that makes sense. You know, I don't think that they're really going for the more traditional bourbon whiskey type of aging and uh, firmament, maybe, or that others would be more of a hot. And having said that, just based off the knowledge that we have on bourbons, it's just not. It seems like kind of a little bit more of a novelty, maybe. Would novelty be the right word? Maybe a more of a novelty bourbon.
I mean, I think the reason they make it, there's people out there that just can't handle the burn, and the more burn you get from the higher proof kind of stuff, the stuff that sits in the barrel longer, it's got more of a oaky kind of taste, or whatever wood taste, whatever barrel it's in. Um, so I think I think a lot of those flavors for somebody that's kind of a beginner, or maybe a little off-putting. So this is something basically just for like people that want something lower proof, want something easy, really easy to sip on. That's not gonna ruin their night.
Right, and that's interesting. It's kind of a
Yeah, it's
novice interesting.
yeah, it's a step up from Jack Daniels and your typical purchases that you see for around the $20 mark. I would definitely say it's a step up from that. Definitely more of a pleasant experience.
Yeah, and it's got a good
So,
taste. I'm enjoying it, honestly. I could drink more of this. Um,
yeah, I'm a big fan. Like I said, it's just not super interesting. There's nothing that it's just kind of your safe whiskey notes. There's nothing really in there that kind of makes it interesting.
right, right. So it's not innovational, but it's
It's safe.
right. I like it. Okay, so I think we're good with a 7 out of 10 on the taste. Body wise, so this is where me and you are gonna have to make a decision on how we rate bodies. Are we gonna give a lighter body a more of a higher rating? Or are we gonna give a heavier body more of a higher rating?
Well, honestly, for me right now, I think a lighter body's probably good. I think the more I get into it, it kind of like with beer. I started off small, then you slowly kind of progress into your higher proof stuff. And I think once I get to that point where I'm into the higher proof stuff, I'm not really going to be so much interested in things like this. But for right now, I would say I would say it's a pretty good body for me.
So I kind of taking off what you're saying, and I agree with it. Like this body would be more something if you were on a higher end kind of taste profile. This would be a good, like, kind of, honestly, I really keep coming back to this, and I don't know if it's something that I want to set in stone, but I really keep coming back to this. Is I really think this is going to be a really good mixer for a drink. And so, like, whenever you're getting those, like, with it being a lower body, it's more of a complementary to a mixer than it is overwhelming. So when you get like a higher body that, we might look at that's going to be a higher quality, something that you do not want to mix this. This is a quality bourbon, this is not one of those. This is not something that, okay, I can't, this is something you can sip on, obviously, but this is not something that is entirely meant for that. This is meant for just an enjoyment drink. However you want to do it. If you want to sip it straight, if you want to mix it, you can do however you want. If you make a cocktail, you can do that. We have cocktail recipes. And I think that's the way they're marketing it, and that's a smart way to market it because obviously that's a bigger demographic. Or people just want something that tastes good that they can mix. So I think they're hitting a. I think Penelope with this bourbon is doing a great job of hitting the higher demographic for sales, obviously, because this can just be used, this whiskey or bourbon can be used for so many different things. It can be used for mixing, sipping, whatever, what have you. But having that sacrifice of not being something that's strictly high end that you're going to be okay. I don't want to mix with this because I want to appreciate the notes, type of thing.
Yeah, it's at that.
So maybe we look at it and body wise, I think the body is good. It might be one of the higher ends that it's carrying it. Maybe like I don't know, maybe like a 7.5 on the body. I think it's got a good body. This is something that you could have on your shelf and you could please anybody with. Whereas like if you have a really solid body, something that's, that is distinctly made for just sipping, I mean, that would be a higher. I don't know. See, that's where I'm kind of torn. Like, if I should give that a higher rating, or if, yeah, I think that should be a higher rating because that would be the more quality of the bourbon. So maybe this is more of a body of like a mid grade, maybe even a 5 or a 6.
I can agree with that honestly. Like I said, this isn't extremely interesting bourbon, but it's definitely good, and I definitely think it's a good beginner just to kind of get you into it. Like I said, it's easy drinking. It's not going to be overpowering. Um, the ethanol is basically non-existing. As I'm taking another smell here, I mean it's so smooth and easy drinking.
I
But
think
like I said, it's just not very interesting.
Yeah, I think so here this is we're going to be where this makes sense. Is so the body, I think honestly, I would maybe go even like a 6 on the body because I think the finish is so clean. Like this is something you take a sip and it's like, okay, there's nothing really like negative lingering here. It's got a good finish and it's got a good flavor and I'm having a good time drinking it. So the finish is I mean after I just, you know, I take another sip. I mean, even me and you sitting here, we're like, oh, let's pour a little more and take another sip. Take another sip. Let's see what we can find. I think the finish is excellent on this bourbon. Maybe even a 7 on the finish.
Yeah, I was kind of in the 6, 7 range. So
So let's do a recap. We did marketing 8 out of 10, aroma 6 out of 10. I'm good with this. I'm good with those. Taste 7 out of 10. How are you feeling on the taste 7 out of 10?
I can I can agree with that. Like I said, it's really easy drinking. It tastes good. I mean, it's one of the better bourbons I've had. Not that I've had a whole lot to kind of compare it with, but it's
And that's where I'm
definitely up there.
struggling. I agree with you. Like that's kind of where I'm struggling is like where would we what would we what rate a Jack Daniels? You know? Like where do we rate a Jack Daniels? Like I mean, are we going to give
I
it
I'd probably give it a 4
yeah.
or
Yeah.
5 average. I mean, it's not something you want to drink. I wouldn't want to drink it neat, but it's got its purposes.
Yeah, true. Um yeah, I think this is a it's an exceptional whiskey. I think body it at 6. That's good. I mean, do you think body should be boosted up or down? What are your thoughts on a
Oh,
6?
I can agree with that 100%. Like I said, it's thin. It's not really oily. It's not sticking to the glass or anything like that. It's not that, I'm an expert or anything, but that's kind of what the experts are looking for from what I've kind of gathered watching reviews. But for me right now personally, I think it's yeah, I'd say it's above average for sure.
Okay.
Six 6 to 7 range for me.
All right. We'll do body. So taste 7, body 6, and finish 7. And I think we've rated this whiskey. I think I'm happy with it. You unless you want to take a couple more drinks. I mean, I'm down to take a couple more drinks.
I mean, I kind of yeah, I'm down, man. Like I said, I could probably drink this all night and be content. It's that easy to drink.
Yeah, this is a good bourbon. So the reason why I asked that question is, do you want me to dive into this Blanton's and you be my support person here on this Blanton's? How do you Are you ready for me to do that, or you want to sip this Penelope a little more?
Uh, how much have you had? Have you had enough time to like open up your palate a little bit?
So, you see the label? You see that the very top of the label? I'm level with the top of the label.
Yeah, you've had a lot more than me. I'd say you're.
The palate's opened up, I
I'd
guess.
say, yeah, give that Bland's a try, man.
All right, let's pop this thing open. Hell, it's New Year's. Might as well. All right. Well, so let me go full screen with this because this is an experience just opening this thing. So this is cool. Is how you undress it. It's got these. Let's do it. Let me just pull this thing down. Oh, yep. See it cracked. Okay, we cracked it off there, and then little crack, and then off comes the dress. Look at that. That was cool. And then we gotta hear the horse pop off the top. Ooh, that wasn't very loud. Let me get another one. Okay, that was better. That
There
was
we
better.
go. I
That
heard
was
that one.
better. Yeah, I did too. All right, Zaya. This is a different experience. Let me tell you. I just took a little nose off of this. There is no ice and our water in this glass. Oh, I just took the last sip. Hey, make sure this is clean.
I was gonna say you might even want to get a freshie for that one.
Think so? All right, let's go get a freshie. I'm gonna go get a fresh one right now.
Just make sure you don't, get any of the old flavors.
All right, so I'll give you guys a little backstory on our planning with this bottle. I got this bottle. I got lucky as hell to get this bottle, and so we are at the beginning of our liquor expedition, and so I'm gonna take a sip of this Blanton's. I'm gonna try it, but keep in mind that this is a novice rating towards Blanton's, and we're gonna revisit it later down the line when we have just a little bit more knowledge behind our back. And me and Zaire will do it together then.
Yeah, hopefully I can snag a bottle. I mean, I know I can. It's just a matter of time when I get the time to actually travel out of state to kind of do it. Around here, basically, you have to kind of be good with the liquor store owner. They don't do any sort of like rewards programs or anything like that. They basically sell their bottles to their good customers. So
Who they know and what they know type of thing.
yeah, pretty much. So
Or who
right now
supports
I'm
them, I guess is a better way to say
yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure. So basically what I'm trying to do right now is find that liquor store that's got a lot of the stuff that I want to buy and then just kind of have that be my main focus. Go in there, kind of talk, get to know them and be recognizable there, and hopefully, I can start getting some bottles close to me. But for right now, it's looking like I'm gonna have to go at least an hour out to try to get some Blantons.
Yeah, a little backstory if you guys don't know what Blanton's is or anything about Blanton's. Blanton's is a very hard to find. This is a very hard to find single barrel bourbon whiskey, and it is very renounced in a lot of people really love Blanton's or they think it's overpriced for what it delivers, but nevertheless, people definitely give it a higher praise than more traditional whiskeys, obviously, but it is more renounced and it's sought after as well. It was one thing that kind of did not help getting a bottle of Blanton's was it was featured in the John Wick movie. This is what he was drinking on whenever he was in pain. He was pouring this up and taking some drinks. So after that, obviously the brand blew up and everybody wanted a bottle of Blanton's. Um, but this is a very sought after bottle. Um, I got lucky and was able to get it, and even the liquor store that I know, I work with them and make commercials for them, and they told me that I could only buy one bottle. So that is kind of what you're looking at whenever you're looking at this drink. Is this is a very it's not I don't know if it's not the best one that you can get out there. It's just hard to get if that is more of a fair assessment, but it's very hard to get. And so we're going to look at it today and we're going to see what we got. Um, I'm, let's see. I want to read a little bit about this to give you guys a little bit of backstory and also for me. So, this is the original single barrel. The nose is vanilla. Palate is a citrus and oak, 93 proof. So, a good proof. Original single barrel, taken from the center cut of the middle sections of the famous Warehouse H. Blanton's original single barrel was once designated for ambassadors, degenerate, dignitaries, not degenerate, sorry, and Colonel Blanton's family and friends. Today, everyone has access to the world's first single barrel bourbon. The taste profile is sweet with notes of citrus and oak. The creamy vanilla nose is teased with caramel and butterscotch, all underscores by familiar baking spices such as clove, nutmeg, and cinnamon. Blanton's original set the standard for single barrel bourbons in 1984. Best served neat or on the rocks, bottled at 46.5 alcohol by volume. and which is obviously half of the proof. But we're gonna go ahead and pop it open. Let me pour this thing up. And also, another interesting thing about Blanton's is these. There's 6 different variants of the top piece. So if you ever really get one, your top piece might be different than my top piece. So there's 6 different variants of the horse. I think it's 6 if I remember offhand. But anyways, I'm gonna John Wick this bitch. Give me a second. Happy New Year's, baby.
Man's got some back pain tonight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drink a lot of this because I want to save some. Like this is one of them ones that. Oh
Yeah,
my
just
goodness. Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt you, Zaya, but off the nose, total contrast on this one. Um, I'm gonna give the marketing a 10 out of 10. I really don't think there's a better marketing when it comes to alcohol than Blanton's. Is there? I mean, they're on John Wick. Everybody wants it. It's hard to get. Is that? I mean, their website's amazing, but I mean, is this not the pinnacle of whiskey when it comes to marketing?
I think Blanton's is kind of like a stepping stone basically into like the higher end market. It's kind of everybody's first hard to sought out bottle, you know what I'm saying?
So,
Like
do you think
people,
marketing 10 out of 10 is fair, or is that way too generous?
I mean, honestly, they've killed it with the marketing. I can I can agree with that well, for the most part, yeah.
I think it's
I can agree
perfect.
with
I mean, could they have done anything more? I mean, they're in fucking. I mean, we got Keanu Reeves coming out of the Matrix drinking this
I
thing.
mean, you legitimately have people waiting hours in line to get your bottles, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 on the marketing. I think this is the they have the perfect marketing when it comes to alcohol. So
That's
I
Buffalo Trace for you, though, man.
Buffalo Trace did the same thing. I mean, look, Joe Rogan
No,
featured them.
Blanton's is a Buffalo Trace product.
Oh, is it? What a genius!
Yep.
What a genius company! I love Buffalo Trace. I didn't know that, so thank you for telling me, for letting me
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that. I didn't
Blanton's is
realize.
a Buffalo Trace product, so
That's awesome. Yeah, Buffalo Trace is amazing whiskey, and that blew up off of Joe Rogan as well. That was very hard to get, at least for my area. It was impossible to get Buffalo Trace in my area. Uh,
you can find it at Walmart here, I think.
really, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's I guess the Southerners down here were watching a lot of Joe Rogan around around the time I was trying to find it because it was hard to get there for a little bit. But yeah, let me just get into the aroma here on this, and I'll tell you, this is a very clean smell. I mean, it is not too potent. Even at 93 proof, I mean, I'm not getting anything that's too potent. Like, even we were just drinking on an 80 proof, and I felt like that one was a lot more heavier on the nose than this. And to even give it a little bit of even more renounce, is there's no rocks in this. Whenever I first took a sniff of the Penelope, there was a lot of potency even with the rocks. I mean, I mentioned that to you, so it's like I don't know. It seems like they've aged this well. It's got a very good smell. Coming off the nose, though, I am really getting hit by that vanilla. That vanilla is there. Like they are putting vanilla in this. Citrus is there as well. I definitely can smell the citrus a whole lot more than what I was getting from the Penelope. The Penelope said that there was citrus in there, but even me and you were kind of digging to find that. It wasn't so evident, but the citrus is here on this one. Oak, oak is there as well, but it's not as balanced. The vanilla and the citrus are really dominating off the nose with this one. But it smells good. Like if you were to blind test me on this, I definitely would say this. I want to take a drink of that. Yeah, this is a. I would say the aroma is probably a shit. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's. Honestly, I want to give it a 10 out of 10 because the problem is this is the best smelling whiskey I've ever had. But I want to leave it open to what anything else I might try. I don't want to give this a perfect rating. It's so fucking hard, man.
Here's
Um,
the thing, man. How's about we do this? Once we kind of get a feel for all the flavor notes and kind of get a little more educated in the topics, I think we should just come back to some of these that we've tried before and give kind of like an updated opinion on what we think about it and just kind of see how the numbers change, you know?
Oh, they're gonna change for sure. I agree.
Exactly, exactly.
I
So,
agree.
I'd say for now, I would personally just rate it what you think. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer on an opinion.
Well, okay, yeah. So I see what you're saying. Well, let's just go ahead. We'll just dive in. I'm gonna give this what I think. This is the best smelling whiskey that I've ever smelled. Um, we're gonna do a 10 out of 10. Fuck it. I'm gonna get a little wild on this one. We're gonna give Blanton's the because I know there's gonna be better out there. So it's like, you know what I mean. We're gonna have something. I'm like, God dang, is this Blanton's level? This is Blanton's level. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be good for us. Let's get into the taste. I'm gonna do it, Zaya. I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it.
I'm excited for you, man.
That was a neat sip that I just took. I just took a neat sip, put it in my mouth for a while, let it swish around, and then swallowed it. And no burn. It was a very clean drink. Like, I mean, did I cough once? No, I didn't even hiccup once. I mean, that was this is a very well barreled bourbon. I mean, my goodness, I don't know what the age is on this. I don't even know what the age is on this bottle. Is this information on here? But that is a clean drink. Here, right here, bourbon whiskey dumped on 10/12 of 23 from barrel number 453. I don't it doesn't say how long it was aged, but my goodness, it's smooth. Like I just drank that like water. Very smooth. Is that something that is something that's sought after, I'm guessing. Just if you
So
can
the
drink it.
Sorry to interrupt, but the Blantons is aged 6 to 8 years.
Wow. Okay. No, please interrupt. I mean, you're giving me more information just to give me more educated. I'm going to open up this card and see what this card said. The finest bourbon in the world comes from a single barrel, never blended with whiskeys from any other barrel. So that right there tells you a lot. So like taking into contrast what we were just drinking was the Penelope. They took they had they took a barrel that they didn't produce and then mixed flavors into it. So having a they never blended this with another whiskey. This is a pure whiskey experience that they have produced themselves, which is very pronounced. Bourbon's peak maturity varies from barrel to barrel, and only a master distiller can determine the exact moment when the whiskey has been aged to perfection and deemed worthy of the Blanton's label. Okay, so marketing right there, that tells me that that's a 10 out of 10. That reinforces the 10 out of 10 rating, because if you have somebody tasting it and making sure that you are on brand with marketing, you're marketing your product with your market and your brand. So that is being very determined to capture your brand is that's something that's not trained. That's something that's passion. That is a passion thing. You know, when you love your product and you want to make sure that it's good as the marketing says. Which means no barrel of Blanton's is ready until it's truly ready. Uh, Colonel Albert B. Blanton's time-honored tradition lives on today's through the handful of barrels from the center of the warehouse H and are selected to become Blanton's single-barrel bourbon. This sour mash bourbon whiskey has body, bouquet, and characters unrivaled by any other. This is the original single-barrel bourbon. The bouquet, interestingly enough, I am not getting anything crazy. I think what they've done is they've refined the simplicity. There's nothing crazy in there. We're not getting all these cherries or these flavors that we were getting in the Penelope. And I'm not trying to knock on the Penelope. It's just I just drank it, so that's my contrast, which is unfair to Penelope. But it's super unfair to Penelope. What'd you do? You drank a Penelope and then had a then had a fucking Blanton's? Yeah, no, it's very unfair. But contrastingly enough, like I'm glad that we did that because we're able to see exactly what it takes to be a bourbon like Blanton's. You know what I mean? So I think it was a wise decision to do that.
Yeah, man, I think another cool thing that we could do going into the future, kind of do like a side by side comparison to two different bottles, you know?
Yeah, I think it was a genius idea. I think that was a genius idea because we're learning so much. Like even just from me taking a sip of this Blanton's and comparing it, I'm not knocking the Penelope at all. But how much are we both learning from just being able to compare that? You know, I think it's an absolute win for us intelligently.
For sure, man. I agree 100%. Like I said, when you have something else to compare it to, I mean, you start to notice those other flavors. So something that, let's just say the vanilla and the Penelope, you couldn't taste it, whereas the vanilla and the Blantons, you are tasting. So you're getting an idea of what that vanilla is supposed to kind of taste like.
You
So
know,
going back to the Penelope, you might actually be able to catch that vanilla note over time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, I agree. I think you're right on the nose with that, man. I think that was an intelligent take, and I mean that you're, and I say that because you're right there with my line of thinking, and I'm not saying that I'm intelligent by any means when it comes to whiskey, but it's just like you know, from what I'm experiencing here, I'm really jiving with what you're going with because that is the truth. I'm really seeing this contrast, and you know, even I think whenever you're looking at a high quality whiskey like Blanton's, like I'm really seeing what I am noticing is that this is just easy drinking. It's clean. I mean, I think this is going to be a 10 out of 10 body. I think if we're going to look at a body, I think a Bland's would be the higher end of the body because this is a light body. This is easy drinking. I can drink this straight. I have put no ice in this. That is crazy. I always drink whiskey on the rocks. And with this being a 93 proof, that's saying a lot. You know what I mean? Like that's a statement. And I'm almost tempted to go get an ice cube and drop it in there just so I can see what kind of flavors I can dive in, but I'm almost like not tempted to because this is fine the way it is. Is that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no sense of messing with something that you see no problems with it. So I mean, they always say it's better to drink it neat. So
Yeah, I'm getting no hits of the nutmeg or the cinnamon, or the clove. So that's something that I would like to, you know, increase the intelligence of my palate on because I'm not really hitting that cinnamon. Maybe a little bit, maybe there's a little bit of that cinnamon punch to it, but I'm just not like getting delivered it like on an extreme level.
and it
It's
could just be some of that sweetness that's coming through.
Yeah,
You know,
the vanilla's in there. You know, that vanilla and that citrus is in there for sure.
I think that's a Buffalo Trace staple right there. Is a really heavy citrus flavor.
I love Buffalo Trace too, man. I really do. I'm gonna give the taste. You know, man, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I'm getting wild here. I'm just gonna, you know, the body's a 10 out of 10. The finish, I want another drink, 10 out of 10. This is a perfect rating, and we're gonna come back to this another time, and I'm probably gonna give it a totally different rating. But this is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. I can't. And the problem is that I'm having here is I can't think of anything that's better than this. Is that weird? But I just can't. Like, I think this is good. This is. I mean, I'm drinking it straight. I usually don't drink whiskey straight.
I mean, the thing is, you're basically going from a Honda Civic to like a Corvette or something. So
I just hopped in a Lamborghini, bro. I mean, this is my first time driving the Lamborghini, bro.
that's basically what it is, man. Like, so for you to give it such a high rating, I mean, it makes sense considering it's the highest quality product you've had, really. So,
Yeah, I mean, I've had Johnny Walker like Blue Label and Red Label. I've had those. but it's like I don't think when I took a drink I didn't appreciate it like I'm appreciating this right now. So I think coming into this and giving that appreciation is huge. I Yeah, I'm really impressed with it. I think Blanton's delivers everything that they say that they deliver. I'm happy with it. I don't want to drink anymore because I want to save it. Like I want to have a little here and there. I think this is something that I want to keep revisiting. You know what I mean? I want to have this. If you can get a bottle of Blanton's, put it on your shelf and have something you revisit. You know, like to give you a standard on what you're tasting. That's kind of where I'm at here. You know.
The way
Um,
you got to look at it is when the bottle's low, are you going to be stressed about it trying to find another one?
I'm stressed about it being a little bit past the top already. Like I'm not mixing this with, you know what I mean? Like you know how you might just get nonchalant and you just like, all right, I'm gonna pour this one up tonight. No, I don't. I don't think I'm gonna touch this bottle a lot. Like I think this is gonna be one of them bottles that I come to, on a, because I mean, having said that, it's not like that's the, like, like I'm gonna drink this whole Penelope before I drink that. When I get done with this, I think I might pour up some of this Penelope and mix it with some Coke and ice and try it with a mixed drink. But I'm not gonna do that with this Blanton's. Um, and that's not knocking the Penelope. It's just I think it's just the different tables that are being delivered by the product. You know what I mean? Like this is a harder product to get. It's also like it's very good by itself. Like maybe if you had a shitty ass day and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take a sip on this bottle of Blanton's, and I'm just gonna see. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna try to soak in some goodness. I think this could be something like that, if that makes
It's
sense.
that's your special occasion bottle right there.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
always say you should have at least 3 bottles. You got that everyday drinker, got your Friday night drinker, and then you got your special occasion drinker.
I like that. I like that. Or, you know, this I don't know about you, but working in news, sometimes I have some stressful ass days. I could use a little lift me up. So maybe I might, if I'm having a really bad day, might pull out the Blantons and be like, "Man, life is good." You know?
There you go, man. That's what it's all about. This stuff's
Maybe.
meant to be drank, you know. That's what it's for. So there's nothing wrong with breaking open a bottle and enjoying it. Better than sitting on the shelf staring at it, you know.
Yeah. Um but yeah, no, I'm very impressed with this Blanton's. I think, I'm glad that I took a drink of it and opened it tonight for New Year's. Happy, and actually let me just this is Happy New Year's to the entire community. I wish I could pour a glass for each and every one of you, you including Zaya. Like Zaya has been such a supporter of the community and been just such a good friend, honestly, like not even just the community, just a good friend in general. I've messaged Zaya about ideas for videos, helping me with critiquing some of the videos or figuring out things with my branding. Even whenever we rebranded and we went to this whole entire, I made the new logo and everything. I sent it all to Zaya first and asked him what he thought. And there's been a whole lot of collaboration on this channel and making this channel with my friend Zaya here and with a lot of the friends and a lot of the like even with Mike. Mike has been an amazing mod. He's been amazing. I sent a lot of the same stuff that I sent to Zay to Mike, and we'll look through stuff and I just have I don't. At the end of the day, if I'm streaming to 3 people and it's you guys and it's all you supporters, and or if it's like 10 people and it's the big supporters out there that have been just helping build this channel or helping build this brand, this Swavillo brand, which people fucking call Swallow because they don't know how to fucking pronounce it. You know what I mean? Like it's like this is something that we've just been doing, and it's and diving into different things, making content with Zaya. And Zaya, man, you've been I'm trying to get somewhere where I'm trying to get, and I'm not the best with words sometimes when I get like this, but I will tell you that I wish I could pour a glass for each and every one of you that have been supporting this channel, and I wish we would drink this whole Blanton's tonight for New Year's, because this isn't just me drinking a Blanton's, or it's not just me drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be egotistical or anything like that. I'm just trying to be appreciative, because I do, deep down in my soul, appreciate you, Zay, and I appreciate the whole community. And you guys just, man, I don't know. Like, I'm blessed, man. Somebody upstairs is looking out for me, because they've given me some great friends, and you guys have been great. And I can't wait to dive into the more and more that me and you guys are gonna do. You know, with whiskey reviews, beer reviews, what have you. But it's I don't know. I'm a little drunk right now, so I'm sorry.
Man's feeling it for sure.
Oh man.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Like I said, you're a good friend. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, man. It's been an amazing journey. Like, it's been an amazing journey, and God, I wish you were here, man. I wish you were sitting right next to me, and I'd pour you up a bottle. We would drink this whole bottle in one night. I'll tell you that right now.
I'd bring you a Glen Campbell try out.
Glen Campbell. Yeah, man. I pour it up in a Glen Campbell, baby. Hell yeah, I
One day
would.
for sure, man. I think it'll be interesting though. Like I said, just I think one day we'll meet up and um I'll bring the best bottle that I can possibly get, and you have the best bottle that you could possibly get. And we just have a good night, man.
I love it. I think that's something that needs to happen sooner than later. I agree, bro. I agree, bro. Like, oh my goodness. You know, I mean, I can't wait to do this. What are you thinking on the next bottle? What are your thoughts on the next bottle that we might review? What's your thoughts on that? Are you wanting to do a side by side comparison kind of thing, and maybe we revisit here in a month or so and get like a, you know, like I have a Blanton's right now, and we side by side it with the Penelope, but maybe we get like the double oak, and then side by side it with another bourbon that you think. Maybe one of the ones we were talking about earlier. God, I can't remember the name of it. I think it was just the Bourbon Company. Was that it, or
Barrel.
Barrel? I'm sorry, Barrel. I gotta
Yeah, I don't
stop
know.
drinking.
I've only seen a couple barrel products, but I'll definitely keep an eye out for some. That's definitely a good possibility for next bottle. Um,
Do you think we do one bottle, or we do the two bottle system again?
that's a good question. I guess really hit up the stores and see what is available for both of us, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing some barrel products. Woodford Double Oak's another one that I hear really good things about that I'm kind of interested in trying.
Yeah, so it was sold out. So that was a little backstory. We were gonna do the Woodford Double Oak, but it was sold out when I went to go get it. Zaya could get it, but it was sold out for me. So to kind of give you guys like a challenge that we're dealing with these videos is we are going to be dealing with, he might be sold out, I might be sold out, or it might be hard for him to find, it might not be, it might be easy for me to find, or you know, vice versa. And so we're going to be dealing with those challenges, and so a lot of the decisions that we make on these reviews going forward are going to be off of that, which I think is good, because that means if me and him can both find it, you guys out there can probably find it as well.
For sure.
Hopefully.
I'm trying to keep it simple for now. Like I said, I'm new to this. You know, I like bourbon. I like drinking it. But I don't know if it's something that I'm gonna want to, it's like stay up with, you know. So I'm trying out these bottles, trying to get a taste for if this is something I really want to get into or not. So
I
These
think
easier to come by bottles.
at the end of the day, we both drink. I mean, we don't drink a
Yeah.
lot, but we both drink and we sip. So I think if we want to dive into bourbons and then we want to dive into some rums and then if we want to dive into hell, I'm down with cognacs and I love tequilas. I do love tequilas. I have a little bit more a little bit of knowledge when it comes to tequilas. Um, diving into different types of alcohol isn't opposed to me, but I am fine with starting off with bourbons and then hey, we might do a tequila video or we might do a cognac video or we might do a rum video one time. I'm totally fine with that. Like trying just bouncing around. Um, but I would like to increase our knowledge in bourbon. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, whenever we're doing this, when we're reading and we're talking and we're discussing, we're increasing our knowledge overall when it comes to just alcohol production. So at the end of the day, we're just getting smarter and we're learning more and we're challenging ourselves to find notes that we aren't seeing or we're working through it and we're building a knowledge base together. And I think that's something that is just at the end of the day, I mean, shit, we could probably sit here and rate a Keystone or rate a bottle of Jack Daniels. And at the end of the day, like, hey, these guys are working on some knowledge. We're making a database. We're making a database.
You got to start somewhere. So I mean, everybody starts with no knowledge. I mean, so the only way to get that knowledge is to try the products, figure out what you like, and go from there. So it's going to be a lot of trial and error, I think. But I think with us, I think it'd even be cool in the future, man, to like, I buy a bottle and you buy a bottle and different bottles, like completely different bottles, and you give your opinion on your bottle, I give my opinion on my bottle, say if it's worth buying or not,
Yeah.
Maybe get to that point where we're saving each other money and like don't buy this or hey man, this is really good, try this. And
That's a genius idea. So maybe we do we keep the two bottle system, and if maybe one we can find and one we can't find. Because I'll tell you, I highly recommend finding a bottle of Blanton's, putting it on your shelf. And I honestly, from me and your review alone, I highly recommend getting a bottle of Penelope and put it on your shelf. I think that there's a place for both of these type of liquors on your shelf. If you're gonna have a shelf and you're gonna be a whiskey or a liquor connoisseur, and you want a different flavor, you want a different taste. There's a different thing that you're looking for. Sometimes you want a little mixed drink, or sometimes you might want to. Maybe you want to drink this Penelope straight or with on the rocks. Everybody has a different palate and a different need at the different times. And I think once you develop that, you find something what is it that meets your needs in the moment is huge. You can't argue success. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm lit, dude. I'm fucking lit, brother.
I mean, you drink that Penelope all the way down to the label, so I'd say you're feeling pretty good.
I'm happy, man. Happy New
It's
Year's
good,
to you
man.
and your family, brother.
You too, buddy.
Happy New Year's to you and your family, man. And the same to everybody who's watching. Happy New Year's to you and your families, and like I said, I love this community. I love you guys. I really do. And this is something that I'm not gonna get weird, but I'll get a little weird here. I grew up and I was always like kind of that. I'm an extrovert, but I'm also an introvert. So when growing up, I was very artsy. I would draw a lot and color. Like I did a lot of pastels that won awards and things like that. But even when my art teacher came up to me and asked me like, "Do you want to enter this?" And I'm like, "No, I really don't want to," because I've always been like, I'm expressive, but I'm an introvert. Is kind of the way my personality is, and so I get trying to meet people and I love learning as well, and I'm also like I own my mistakes and I own my dumbness as well, but I it's just been such a blessing is to find friends that, you know, on the internet that are just kindred souls. And, that's kind of where the channel has grown. And that's kind of what's been keeping me on, keeping me firing up alive, and hanging out because it's nice to keep track of some friends that are kindred souls, and kindred spirits. And I might be streaming to 5 people one day, or 3 people one day, 2 persons one day, or 100 another day. But at the end of the day, what matters the most is just keeping a good relationship with some good people. And Zay is one of those great people, and I'm so happy to be sharing this experience with you, brother. I really am. I really am.
Yeah, yeah, man. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think we're gonna learn a lot, taste a lot of good bourbons, and have a good time doing it, man. That's what it's all about.
What do you say it's the New Year's. What do we say? We pour up another glass of this bourbon. Let's just bullshit. If you find a note in there, I mean, I don't know if you got. I know you got kids. You're like me. You're a dad. You got kids. But if you got time, would you want to pour up another one and we talk just some bullshit, and then maybe give a few notes that we find in between, or how do you feel about that?
I'll be honest with you, man. I never stopped, so
I fucking love you, dude. Let me go get some ice, and I'm gonna pour up this Penelope again.
for sure, man.
All right.
Said if anybody in here fan of bourbon, whiskey, whatever, just let us know what you're drinking on or what you like to drink. Definitely open to like recommendations. Good beginner whiskeys.
All right. I'm getting wild, brother. I'm getting wild. We're gonna put some of this Penelope's with some Coke Zero. We're gonna get wild.
Interesting combination right there.
I want to try it. Well, so Coke Zero is my. I used to drink Coke like a motherfucker, dude, and so I switched to Coke Zero. Just I'm trying to lose weight because I'm a fat ass, and I'm trying to lose some weight, so I switched to Coke Zero. But I just love fucking Coca Cola. And anyway, so I switched to Coke Zero, and I love the flavor of it. I don't like Diet Coke at all, but I'm interested to see how it mixes with Coke Zero. Let's see.
I don't think it's gonna beat a classic Coke, but
No, it's not. It's not going to be a classic Coke at all.
I'm telling you, bourbon and Coke is dangerous. There was one night I shit you not, I probably drank like 6 cans of Coke in the span of a couple hours. So definitely not.
I'll say this: I can taste that cherry. I can taste that cherry. The fucking ice melted because none of it was cooled down. I got to throw some more ice in this. Oh my god! Oh my god, Zaya! You're gonna get me drunk tonight. You're gonna get me drunk tonight.
Just pace yourself, buddy. That's what I'm doing.
I can't. No, I'm sorry. I got. I was
Like I
drinking.
said, it's easy to do with this stuff. Uh,
Hmm.
said I'm drinking it straight, no problem.
Yeah, the Penelope's super good. Oh, yeah, that's something that I can sip on for a little bit for sure. I'm sitting here
Bender,
smoking this vape to it, but I could really like use a cigar, but I can't smoke a cigar inside. I got kids. I would.
dude, they stink so bad in the house.
I
I
know.
made that mistake one time. My house smelled like cigar for
There's these really
weeks.
good cigars that I have. I have a box of them over here. They're uh oh god, what's the name of them? They're yeah, I don't feel like getting up, so I'm just gonna look it up because I posted it on Twitter.
I've had a couple pretty decent cigars. I've had some Rocky Patel, um, and Romeo and Julieta's are pretty decent. I don't exactly know which one I had, but pretty solid choices.
Let me see here. I'm gonna put Twitter post on this thing. I'll tell you this: it's a Sweet Jane, is what it was. It was a sweet. It's a sweet. Gotta get my fat ass up. I can't find it. Deadwood Tobacco.
Bro, you were way off.
Deadwood Tobacco, Sweet Jane, and it is a very sweet, very sweet cigar. It has a it tastes like chocolate as you're smoking it. Honestly, it's pretty lit. I don't know if it's like a high end cigar, but I mean, I got a box of them. They're pretty good. That's the kind of thing is like, when it comes to me, like, some people don't care if it tastes good. It's just quality or name brand or what have you. But I am if it tastes good, I rate it higher. So that's kind of like why I gave the Blanton such a higher taste or rating because I'm like, this shit tastes good. I can drink it. And then even, I think we gave a pretty fair rating to this Penelope as well. It tastes good. I can drink it. Ooh, like I love Coke Zero. And let me tell you, taking a sip of this, on I'm really getting that cherry. And what's crazy is if you look, there is a red tint to this glass now that was not there before with I had a Coke Zero whatever. But this is half Penelope, half Coke Zero. But you see that little red tint? It's not so much of brown tint, but more of a red tint. So that's interesting. So maybe there is a little bit more cherry in the Penelope sending off. I'm not sure, but are you getting the cherry still?
Yeah, I definitely got a little hint of cherry in there. Um, that's about the only fruit I'm really tasting, honestly.
Yeah, all them other notes that they're I'm not getting them, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like a. I don't know if it's more of and I don't know what type of advertising that is that they're throwing at us. Like, there's a lot of notes in this.
Somebody out there can taste them all. I applaud you.
Right.
One day, though, telling you, we'll be experts.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it takes experience. It takes failure. The only thing that we could do is dive right into it like we did tonight, and I think we brought all of our knowledge to the table. We brought everything we could to the table, and and at the end of the day, all we're gonna do is expand on it because there's parts where we failed and there's parts where we succeeded. So naturally speaking, it's just something that we're just gonna build up on as we go.
Wow, YouTube is way behind.
Oh, on the stream.
Oh yeah, it just showed you getting the cigars.
Oh, really? Where are we at now? We're at 2 hours. Damn, Zay, we've been drinking for 2 hours, brother. Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a good time, man. It's been a while.
I know, I know. Usually we're playing Dead by Daylight or something, and you're hearing Tyler. Do you remember fucking Cause? You remember that shit? Remember that video that he's like, you're like, I hear a chainsaw.
And he runs right towards it.
Oh my god.
Cause don't run that way, and he just goes that way anyways. 2 seconds later, he starts blaming you.
Bro, I'm telling you, I don't know why, man. I be getting blamed on these video games.
Whatever happened to him, anyways?
Um, so, all right. Well, I'll tell. How about
I
this?
mean, I don't get like too personal about it, obviously, but
Yeah. I'll say he had some complications. There was some complications that. Anyways, me and him obviously we didn't we didn't mesh well together, and I stopped playing with him. He's just I don't know, man. Sometimes like I'm a competitive gamer. I really am, and I'm pretty good at some video games. But I just don't take it that seriously, if that makes sense. Like I get competitive sometimes, and and I get directive, and I'm like, hey, or like I was playing with Juan the other day, and Juan has a very very good personality, and me and him were playing trios or duos or something like that, and I was like, "Oh shit, hey, let's go over here, let's rotate this way," and he's like, "Okay, let's do it." And we won the game, and he said afterwards, he would say, I don't really I was like, I am sorry, I wasn't trying to be bossy or anything, I wasn't trying to be a dick. He's like, no, dude, he's like, you have a lot of expertise in different areas, and I just listen to that, and then if I said, and he says you're really good at listening to this, and I'm very open minded. I've always been very good at management, I guess, or listening to people, being open minded, and things like that. But to get the job done, kind of thing. And but you get people that are everybody has different personalities. You get people that are very oh, what would be the word? Not open-minded, I guess. You're just very you're very I don't know. Like it's like, "Oh, you do it this way, you do it this way. We're going to do it my way," kind of thing. And it's like, "Okay, I mean I'm fine with doing it that way, but it's I don't know really where I'm trying to get at with this, but at the end of the day, I don't know. It's also like you don't want to take away the enjoyment of playing a video game. Like it's a fucking video game. Like I always want to have fun. Like if somebody like if Juan, me and him were playing together, he's like, "Hey, I want to go over here and do this contract. I have a daily mission, or I need to do this contract. Let's go fucking do it. All right, let's go knock it out real quick." It's not like, "Oh no, we need to win the game. That we don't need to do that," type of shit. It's like, "Oh, okay, you want to do this? It's a video game. You want to do that? You want to knock this out for a challenge? Let's go do it." Like it's not that serious. So I think that being able to recognize that is something that some people struggle with. You get off work and some people just want to win, 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 win. But whenever I get off work and I want to play a video game, I want to enjoy the time with my homies. That's kind of the main prerogative that I have, if that makes sense.
Well, the thing is, like, you're not gonna win every game. It's impossible. Like, it's not gonna happen. So my whole thing is, obviously, I would enjoy winning, but I don't get mad if I don't win. I expect to, I expect to lose. So I more or less, I just try to have fun, do something funny or, just have a good time.
Or make a
More
little
about that.
clip. That's kind of my goal. Is like, oh, I'll see if. And that's the thing with Dead by Daylight. That was one of the reasons why me and Cause really didn't mesh well on Dead by Daylight, is because he wanted to win every game. And I'm like, dude, it's Dead by Daylight. You cannot win every game. Sometimes you just gotta, hey, see if I can get a clip on the killer, or, oh shit, this killer is really fucking good. I mean, he's just gonna shit on us. Or, oh fuck, he tunneled out one man as a 3-man. Hey, if we can make a win out of a 3-man, it's gonna be hard as fuck because it's Dead by Daylight. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're playing a fucking video game. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal, man. But with Dead by Daylight, that was one of the hardest things that it took for me to learn. I wouldn't say I'm an expert Dead by Day player, but I think I'm pretty up there. I mean, I'm a pretty good survivor and I'm a pretty decent killer. I'm not like I don't play it every day, but what I would say what helps me is I could pull up Dead by Daylight right now and probably run a killer. And if I pulled up as a killer, I could probably kill some survivors and win a game. Like it's not I have intelligence in the game, but at the same time I'm not like focused on that because when you're playing Survivor, someone's gonna die, and if he gets a 3 gen, he's gonna corner you and he's gonna own it. You know what I mean? So it's just not one of them games that you play to win, if that makes sense. It's one of them games you play to have fun.
Yeah, it's a party game.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word I was looking for.
Kind of like Mario Party or games like that. I mean, if you're taking Mario Party serious, man, you got some problems. But
I'm getting sweaty on Mario Party tonight, boys.
People figuring out little tap methods for A and B to be as efficient as possible. It's like, screw that, man.
It's Mario Party. It says party in the fucking name.
You get together with the boys and you just have a good time. Make fun of each other. Somebody's gonna do something stupid at one point. Call them out on it. Have a joke about it.
Yeah, and be lighthearted. Like, I mean, that's kind of something that when it comes to gaming that I've gotten good about is, I do something dumb, call me out about it. I want to laugh about it because it's funny, Like, I mean, just enjoying the experience is way more than being self-conscious of it and wanting to just win, I mean, you see me earlier on Tarkov, I was getting fucking shit on. I'm like, all right, well, just load into another one. Just load on it because at the end of the day, it's just a video game. How are you gonna get where you want to get or get sometimes you gotta warm up. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's so much parameters to it, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking video game. That's all we're doing. We're playing video games.
It's timing. Sometimes you got really good timing. Sometimes you got really bad timing. I mean, you never know.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like with our liquor reviews. It's exposure creates excellence. So the more you drink, the more you do, the more you try, the better you get. But at the end of the day, you're still gonna fail. You're not gonna succeed every day of the week.
Unless you're Ricky Bobby.
What an American prodigy.
You ain't first, you're last.
Oh man. All right, well, Zaya, it's been a pleasure, my man. I think we call it here. I think I got Tarkov calling my name. I'm sorry, but I think I want to go play some Tarkov. I want to play some video games. You got me.
I'm down to watch some drunk Tarkov.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna die a lot. I'm gonna get shit on so bad. But hey, it's been a blessing, man. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, I'll say it 1,000 times. Happy New Year's to you and your family, and I hope nothing but blessings for you and your family. And dude, you're such a great guy, and I'm glad that your team shit on me that one day in Call of Duty back in the day. Back when it was me, Rye, oh fuck, who else was it? It was somebody else. There was a bunch of us, and we were running the meta pistols.
No, it was 725s.
Yeah, it's the 725s, and you came into my my mixer chat, and you were like, "What the fuck?" And I was just like being cool. I was like, "Yeah, dude." I was the only one not running the 725. I was running like a non-meta gun. What was it, like the 74U or something? I don't even know. Oh no, I was running the Uzi. I was the only one on the team that had the Uzi. I think.
Yeah, I remember that, man. came in to roast you, and then I chilled for a little bit. You were listening to some good music, and I was like, man, maybe this guy's all right.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad. That was a blessing, dude. That was a
How
blessing.
things work out, man. You never know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. God dropped a gem on my doorstep that day, man. I'm glad I met you. You're a good dude, man. You are. You got a lot going for you personality wise, and you got a lot going for you just as a dude, man. I'm glad that I met you. I'm fucking drunk, and I'm sorry. I'm fucking getting
Nah, you're good,
emotional.
man. I can honestly say the same. You've been a good friend. You know, you've provided me with quite a bit of entertainment. We've had some good time gaming, and plenty more to come, man.
All right, brother. Well, blessings to you and your family. Blessings there, everybody in the channel as well. And Zaya, happy fucking New Year's, dude.
You too, buddy.
Hey, whenever New Year's pops, how about we meet up here at midnight if you're up? I know you got kids. Is that too much to ask? I don't want to be too pushy. New
I
Year's?
might be able to make it if I stop drinking right now.
All right. Well, I might not still. I might be passed out in an hour. Oh fuck! All right, I'm gonna finish this glass. But hey, if we're up at New Year's, me and you might have we'll have a sip of this Penelope.
Sounds like a plan, man.
All right, brother. Blessings to you. We'll talk to you later, man.
All right, man. Pleasure having me. Thank you.
Later. We'll talk to you guys.